One who wasn't sure this was the first match. It is going to be the first match. This is the debut of the Nanyang Championships, and well, we get to start with some quality NA Dota, and what a sweet treat we get to start.
A year ago, that would have been sarcasm.
It would have been sarcasm, but I'd have to say it's getting quite fruitful in the North American region, especially with the team.
You know, my guess is like, wow, all these teams were like, man, Complexity got this far. We can do that too. That's my guess. Yeah.
Digital Chaos is probably one of the biggest teams that everyone's keeping an eye out for, and we get to have their debut right here and now. They're going to be facing Root Gaming. So as we get ready to hop into the draft, Merlini, I want your early impressions about this matchup. We don't know how these teams play together. You know, we only are going off based on roster. And according to Dota 2 Lounge, it's a 75 odds favorite for Digital Chaos. Would you agree with this?
I would maybe say a little bit more. I guess it's... Digital Chaos is still untested, so I think they're on paper their lineup is really strong. I think Bubba's a pretty decent captain, and obviously he had success with EG during TI5. So I mean, Aoi obviously too, but Yawar kind of he's been on tier 2, tier 3 NA teams I think, and he hasn't really proven himself. TC ever since Liquid in 2014 hasn't really done that much, and then we have Biru who no one really knows.
Yeah, Biru is the pub star, I guess you could say, for the team. Even a certain Eternal Envy has been very anxious to see the debut of his star little anime friend in the BU player.
Yeah, I'm looking at a Steam icon. I was like, that looks like some...
I can't... This is usually where I have Mott with me, and we play the game called...
Whoa, I have it. You don't. On yours. What? You have a question mark. I have the actual icon.
Oh, what is that?
I don't know.
I might have changed it right before the game. He's like, I gotta put on my best anime uniform before I hop out and make my...
I think that's actually what Eternal Envy was looking for. A name change or a Steam profile pic change.
Shout out to him. But you're right, this is a hybrid team right now. You got a little bit of that fresh Liquid flair from Bulba and TC. TC, it's funny enough, he's going to be facing off against his former team in Root Gaming, though the most of Root Gaming has been ripped apart, and part of it's become Team Fire now. The only lone Root Gaming member is Monkeys Forever. The rest is just from all over the place. You got Ja, who's a standout support player in the pub scene, who's played on Real Wreck while whistling. Juan, who played for Void Boys. Dirk was also on Real Wreck as a support. And of course, we all know the wonderful Waga Mama Gaming. He did a little bit of work on Four Clovers and Leprechaun. He did some stand-in and tryout for Complexity. But Merlini, here he is for Root Gaming. And how important of a role is it going to be for him? Is he trying to be like the fly for Complexity, the experienced one, putting the team on his back? Or is there enough of that between both him and Monkeys Forever?
I mean, all these other guys have played their fair share of competitive too. You have Dark Derp and Ja, who I've seen around for a decent amount. Not exactly sure why with the Lion pick here. So Lushrak is an obvious ban. Naga Siren versus Aoi I also think is a pretty obvious ban, as well as the Bounty Hunter. So those bans make sense. The Darkseer, pretty high flavor, I would say, in the last month and a little bit during TI. I'm actually a little bit surprised to see them first phase ban that. Tusk, I think, is pretty good, probably interchangeable with Lina in terms of first pick. Gyro, you know, also pretty high up there depending on how highly you value it. But Lion's the odd one out.
Yeah, Lion seems a bit intriguing to have to reach for this early. There's still some prime grabs out there. And it's funny, you already talked about it a bit with Digital Chaos. The first thing you think about is, are they going to be directing a lot of attention towards Aoi? That's certainly the case. Got to get rid of the Naga. No acknowledgement of the techies yet, but maybe they're not worried about it, considering they have the Tusk, though that didn't stop the EG techies lineup in TI. Could be different here for Digital Chaos, though, and what Bulba wants to get out of it. But they have a great pairing already. Lina Gyrocopter, heavy burst potential, regardless of any sort of BKB candidate Root Gaming decides to go for, and is typically an arch nemesis to Gyrocopter, but they don't have to worry about that anymore. Maybe instead Root Gaming are like, well, we don't have Lina, we're going to go for Lion, and we're going to get our own pew-pew laser.
I think the Lion might somewhat be dissuade a Storm pick. I think Yawar plays that a lot.
He does.
And it could also be given to the mid laner as well, but I tend to think that's going to be played by Lina. But at the same time, I think Tusk is already pretty decent at handling a Lion. But yeah, I guess it would have to be Storm mid, but I don't know. It just still feels very odd. Like, I can't remember last time I'm like, man, Lion really like changed this game around for them, like the hero itself as opposed to the player.
No.
Like,
I know he got a little bit of love not long ago. His base damage was buffed up, and in the big Storm era that we saw from many teams, he was the go-to counter. And I agree with you. I think the only thing I see out of this is that Root Gaming don't have enough bans, and they'd rather preemptively prepare for what is possibly to come, which could be that Storm Spirit that you are has been fiending quite a bit in his pub play. And now an Earthshaker going to be popping up here. Long-range initiation. If it's going to be a support, you know, you can kind of be there for your mid laner in a time of need. If they decide to go for something like, let's say, a Shadow Fiend, or, you know, even Queen of Pain being ignored up to this point. Or it could always be the potential Bulba off-lane Earthshaker as well.
Yeah, especially with the Clockwork banned out by Root, I think the Earthshaker is a really good pickup. Not only like is it just massive AoE, it's massive AoE to follow after a snowball. So, like, if you snowball in on pretty much any one of those three, you're just going to get destroyed by the other two. With Call Down, with Fissure, with Lina Stun, like, you don't really want to 3 or even like 2-man snowball probably, which, you know, we've seen a lot of the Tusk Undying lane, but this is... It's going to be really rough for Bloodseeker, I think. Ooh. There's like so much damage that's just simply unavoidable.
The Lina.
Yeah.
It's just going to annihilate him.
I mean, I think they're going for like a very aggressive lineup though, especially with Lion as one of their key supports that they want to like roam around with pretty early. But I mean, Digital Chaos, if the Earthshaker is in the right place at the right time, I don't really see Root being able to get that many kills in the early game, which is extremely difficult for a Bloodseeker to transition out of. If he doesn't get a lot of kills early, he's just going to get Lagoona'd every fight.
You got to be careful with that Blood Rage, man. You accidentally have it on trying to farm a lane. Alina comes out from the woods, and you're just done for. But to their benefit, they could always, you know, Blood Rage their Lion. They could decide to pick up a certain Zeus as well.
If you Blood Rage anyone, they're just going to get one shot by Lina.
Well, I know. I'm saying to amplify his own personal finger damage. I mean, that would be pretty ambitious, but, you know, there is potential synergy for him to Blood Rage like a Zeus if they want to
like
pick
a
up
Zeus.
Yeah.
Although, one thing that it doesn't provide is any sort of lane control versus Alina.
Yeah,
like,
right.
It's a pretty big issue, I think.
That is an owie Visage. We are going to be graced by one of the best Visage players you could ask for. And the immediate response from Root Gaming is going to be the Storm Spirit here. Something that Monkeys Forever has played in the old Root Gaming days as a safe lane Storm. Or do you think this is going to be a Wagga Storm? I don't see Wagga play Storm a whole lot. I don't see Wagga play Storm that often either, but at the same time, you can't put Bloodseeker mid versus Lina. Like, I think Shiki still has nightmares from playing against Sumail's Lina as that Bloodseeker, but it's just all around a poor matchup for Bloodseeker, and he can't actually out-heal the harass from Lina, which I think is a lot of the strength of his laning phase. But yeah, at the same time, yeah, Wagga, T is known as a TA picker, and they're on Radiant. I don't really know how willing they were to actually go for the TA, but it is a good matchup versus Lina, and Wagga has an extremely good TA. Well, that's not going to be happening. No surprise, Digital Chaos have to remove the TA. You want to take someone like that if they have a hero they are just notoriously known for. You're going against a Weehan, you got to get rid of that Meepo. Going against an Owie, get rid of that Naga. There's just respect there. And even though, and this was something that was said during TI, Sumail had his matchup as Storm Spirit going against the Leshrek in the mid lane, and typically on paper it's a bad matchup for Storm, but it's just Sumail plays Storm that good that it really doesn't matter. The worst case scenario for him would be just coming out in that laning stage as a draw. So, you know, could be a bit of confidence there to still make it work. But if we're all going according to plan here, a safe lane farming Bloodseeker, I assume, mid lane Storm, off lane Tusk, unless this is going to be a roaming Tusk and they still want to get something in the off lane. I know there's options still out there, Merlini, for Root Gaming, but they'll need to find a way to kind of round it out. And for the side of Digital Chaos here, well, TC is one to play a lot of Lina, so Lina the mid lane, you got your safe lane Gyro, possibly a off-lane Earthshaker, Visage, and a Rubik is going to round out the support duo here. Rubik, Visage here. You got a little bit of zoning control to deal with what could be the Tusk, and great way to kind of get around the map after the mid lane. And to finish out Root Gaming, Merlini, it's going to be the Omni Knight. Used to be a tried and true in NA Dota for quite a while for teams like Will Rec when they first pulled it out, but kind of fizzled out a bit, and there were other more prominent options to fill that role, like a Dazzle, like a Wyvern. Some of those options have been taken away this game, but what do you think an Omni Knight really offers? A free BKB to this?
I mean, GA's pretty good versus Gyro. It's decent versus Fish as well, but I think Omni Knight is one of those supports that generally you just don't want to pick into a Rubik. It's really difficult to not give anything away because he's a melee hero. He doesn't have the greatest range on his spells, and sometimes you want to get up in their face for Degen, but any spell that Rubik steals is going to be a nightmare. Like if you steal Purification and Gyro gets ruptured, let's say, and Bloodseeker goes on him, he's like almost dead from Purification if he blood rages him. And then Repel is really bad to give away. GA, like all these are really terrible spells to give away. So yeah. Rubik, every time he spell seals, he's guaranteed to get something good.
Yeah, this is like Thanksgiving for Rubik. Yes. Just everything on the table looks like a sweet and delicious treat.
So this is like a kind of test game for Biru, see if he can actually shine on this Rubik roll. But at the same time, Root, they don't really have that much going for their lineup. Like Bloodseeker, we talked about, has all these things going against them. Storm has a very difficult matchup dealing with like Alina Yules later. Yeah. Like Tuss has to deal with like the Rubik Gyro lane. Like there's so many things that I don't really see going well for Root in the early game.
And BKB eventually comes into the pocket of Gyrocopter, and he can just unrelentlessly tear through Root Gaming Squad. So can't help but feel like Root maybe have a bit of a timer to work with here. Want to make a big presence in this game into the early to mid game phase and not allow Digital Chaos to be a problem later on. But here we go, folks. We're getting ready to start things up. It's the Nanyang Championships here. 2015 NA Qualifier, the very first match. The debut for these teams and their new rosters, Digital Chaos and Root Gaming here. And we'll have to see our TI5 champion, Aoi, and his new team, if they're going to be the next EG, the next Cloud9. What they're going to. Do you think there's going to be a bit of pressure on them to really stand out in their first game, or is it just kind of let's just go out there, let's play our game, and we should be able to be the favorites coming to this?
They're not a team of superstars, so I don't really think that there is that much pressure. Personally, I mean, Boba's been on a lot of teams, Yuar and TC. The only one that probably has some pressure is Biru, but again, it's not like his 4 teammates are like the best of the best. A lot of them still are in unproven waters, so it's it's just test phase. It's still a while until majors, so they're just trying to build their chemistry right now.
Fun fact, one of the first teams Yuar and Sumail did get to play on in somewhat of a professional level was for Root Gaming. Gods and myself did get to catch that game, I would believe. It was about a year ago or so, and they just really put on a show. It was Sumail Storm Spirit. Yuar was playing the one position. He played a lot of Medusa, a lot of Morphling back at that time. It was very impressive, and, well, there's going to be possibly a time in the near future where we get to see the two brothers face off in the mid lane. That's going to be very exciting. Top lane, Aoi, immediate D-ward right there. It was a crafty spot, but he's onto it. He gets a good sentry, and he's going to remove that bit of vision here. Xuan is going to be in the dark right now, and that's not going to be comfortable for him on this Tusk.
Yeah, the last phase ban was a Tusk by Digital Chaos, which I thought was a really good idea, because what you're scared of is that your Visage isn't going to be able to get that much farm. You're scared of a dual lane, because a single lane is just going to get pressured by the Gyro. On top of that, you have the threat of the Rubik and the Visage. So the only way they can pressure this lane is with 2 or 3 people, and an Undying Tusk is one of the best offlane combinations that there is right now. And now Tusk is just stranded up here, and like he is barely able to touch creeps without TC constantly threatening him.
Yeah, they're kind of close, but not close enough. It's still in a bit of a scary territory. One quick lift pull back into Rocket Barrage, and he is going to be reaching for the regen. And right now, he does have plenty of it. 3 tangos and 1 self to work with here. So as long as he doesn't get in too much trouble, he'll be able to hold his own and at least soak up XP. But he is not going to be contesting the farm, and I don't expect him to really get a lot of farm for himself. Let's touch base on this mid lane matchup. Yuar on the Lina here, 6-2, going to be going toe-to-toe to Monkeys Forever on the Storm, taking the mid lane 7-2. So pretty neck and neck right now.
This is the Lina favored matchup, but the Lion was there to harass Yuar a little bit, so it's not the biggest deal that he's just a tiny bit behind, and Monkeys is under a lot of pressure. He needs to bring over regen. He's at critical HP right now.
Ooh, Xuan wants to go for the top rune here. Could pay for it. Decides to turn back onto Biru here with the snowball. Now he's going to head up to the northern west quadrant. Oh, not going to be happening there, little Biru. Can't get him up to the cliff. One of those sour spots right there. It's very finicky now. I know that back in the day it almost seemed very easy to just toss anyone and their mother up on that cliff, but it's definitely got special sweet spots now. I've come to learn. So he's not able to get it up. It's enough, though, to force him back, and he continues to struggle in his off lane. Jaw is back in this mid lane, really helping out Monkeys Forever as much as possible. Dishes out the stun, throws out the Hex. Yuar's going to be able to shrug it off, but he does eat a lot of damage, and will have to use his last shared Tango.
So Bulba is having a much easier time than the Tusk, but he is against a double melee lane at this point, and he doesn't really have to be scared, at least not until Waga is level 6. But even then, they don't have any TPs in between the Bloodseeker and the Omni Knight. TP cancellations, rather. But Bulba already has a Soul Ring. He's level 3, so he's doing pretty well. But Waga is getting a lot of farm. I would expect for him to get an early Blade Mail. Midas optional. He went with the Uvu first, so clearly he wants to kill people, and kill people early.
Midas would be nice if he's able to kind of be that greedy, but I would fear that that window of time after the Midas could be a bit punishing to them.
It just depends on how much they want to rely on the Omni Knight. If they think they can excel through team fight and out team fight Digital Chaos, then he doesn't need to go for the Midas. But if they're heavily reliant on the Repel and they just want Storm to get like a Bloodstone and Bloodseeker to get like a Midas plus Blade Mail plus BKB before they start fighting, then Midas is the right choice. So it really is a matter of confidence and how they expect the game to go. And I think Digital Chaos is like pretty content to farm. They picked Visage for Aoi, one of his super farm intensive supports. But at the moment, they're not really getting too much accomplished. They control top rune and they've somewhat limited Tusk, but he wasn't really in any danger of dying.
Yeah. I think, I would agree with you. Digital Chaos and much more of a comfortable game plan.
But now they're side. They're changing things up. They want to kill this Tusk. They should have, I think, pressured him a lot harder, especially with that Observer Ward dewarded so early. So they know exactly where he is. They ping him out. They have a DD.
He's in a nice, safe little closet.
Do they have any TPs?
But they're engaging. Here they go. Biru's going to lead out the front, hoping to get a lift here. Juan probably calling out for help and starts to turn and snowball. No TP rotation coming in yet. And he is just going to have to run south to make it away from this one. But there's the lift. There's the Soul Assumption. And there is your first blood. It's going to be the little young gun right here, Biru, who's going to be picking up the first blood for Digital Chaos. Mid lane, though, the trade could come for Yawar here. He goes to the high ground, bottles up, turns back, gets off the stun for Jaw, looks to finish him off, and gets it done with a Dragon Slave. Very nice heads-up play from Yawar to turn it around and push Digital Chaos ahead 2-0. Bulba now even creeping in, looking for a Fisher setup. No, he misses it. Not going to connect, blocks it off briefly, but they're still going to follow it up with the lift and with the help from Aoi, and they get it done. Back-to-back kills Merlini coming out from Digital Chaos. Huge push forward in the early game.
I think that the Xuan thought they had an Observer Ward because he snowballed from the fog. They were thinking that he was there, but they weren't confident, and when it was nighttime, and there could have been like a TP from Storm, who was almost level 6. So I can understand their hesitation, but he was like really, really close to just completely dodging that gank. See, he just dropped a Sentry Ward. He actually thought that they had. There's no way you would make that play if you didn't think they had an Observer Ward.
He's been playing so defensively. He just knows that trouble is out there, so he puts himself way deep behind the tower, but it's not going to be enough. But, it's just barely out of range right here. Very nice ward, Digital Chaos. This was one that was introduced, I believe, at TI. I can't remember which team. I want to say it was one of the MVPs started putting on this aggressive ward right here. But look at that. He moves it off just a hair to the left.
On top of that,
to be out.
On top of that, they saw him place the other Observer Ward, so that's like doubly bad.
Oh, you're right.
So that's like huge Ward Wars wins for Digital Chaos. The obs on top, the obs that they think they had on the left side, the Sentry fail in mid, and the Observer that's been spotted out. That's 4 and 6 minutes. That's really bad for Root, and I don't really see how they're going to get map control anytime soon. Tusk is really under level. It's all on the Bloodseeker, I think. Bloodseeker and Storm have to make big plays, gank in unexpected areas. Like there's stacking already going on. Yawar has a regen rune in his bottle. It's going to take this out very efficiently. I think it was at least a 3 stack at this point, and that's some very nice levels for the Visage.
Well, if you're trying to put a lot here, if you're Root Gaming onto Waga, how long do you really need to wait before you feel like you have the sufficient farm to really make a big fight?
Again, it's that, like, do you think you can actually fight them and win, or do you rely on a super farmed guy with Repel? And I think it's shaping up more and more that we have to rely on a Superman with Repel to win this game.
And if it doesn't go well, that could very well be the game at that point. It's not going to take a whole lot extra effort.
They still have Lina, though.
To over him, but you're right.
So it's like not... I mean, I don't like Root's position at all. I didn't like it before the game started, to be fair. But at the same time, like it's continually getting worse.
And they're not, letting up whatsoever. In typical gyrocopter fashion, TC gets his call down, gets his level 7, and he is already on the move. There is going to be a takedown. Derp goes down the mid lane. The first Laguna of the game from Yawar going to be coming out right there, but still on the move. Digital Chaos, they want more than that. They know that little Yawar can handle his own in the mid lane, but they're looking for a potential setup, and they end up finding a nice stack here that was set aside for Monkeys, and TC's like, this is worth it to me. Drops the call down, and he's going to farm it up and take it away from Root Gaming, going right into the inventory bank.
Root hasn't made any moves this game. The only move that they made was the Lion and the Storm attempted kill on Lina, which failed in mid. And other than that, they've just been playing extremely passively and haven't really been doing that much. They're like getting their stacks stolen. DC's just completely taking over their jungle. They dove someone on the T1 on top. Like they're just getting away with murder.
They're on both sides. They'll see Monkeys from the high ground here. But
Monkey doesn't even have any
vision.
vision.
Have jump.
Oh, he does have vision. They have this ward in the lane. That's an odd lane ward.
Yep. But it's enough for him to give that little bit of intel so he knows that he can't proceed up that way. All the while, Juan is going to be able to get some solo XP on his Tusk, which we know he desperately needs, but getting to level 6 still seems quite a bit of a task right here, even with Derp behind him kind of babysitting him. He's going to leave him alone now and look to head back, but you're right, man. Root Gaming, yet to pull the trigger on getting anything done, though Waga still continues to farm up. Now third in CS at 55 and 15. Top belongs to UR at just 56.
I feel like they're like waiting for perfect opportunities as opposed to going for mediocre ones. And at this point, you have to settle for mediocre opportunities. Like
they're going for it now, Merlini. Top lane here, Waga. He's got an itchy trigger finger, ready to use Disruption.
He's almost level 6. He'll be level 6 off this creep, and then you have the bird stunts to deal with and the bird damage under the tower. This is a failed gank.
Well, instead, they'll just go ahead and take a stack of their own here. And Aoi is just not going to allow that to happen. With the birds out in full force now.
Like, look at this tower. They have vision on bottom lane, except TC's just taking the tower for free.
They know exactly what's happening top, and with it, they'll find a trade that's to their better. For a team that's brand new on the roster, they're certainly looking much more experienced on when they can take advantage of opportunities, knowing the map, and when's a good time to kind of get a quick objective here. Now, do they rotate top here and make a jump onto Root when they think they have their own bit of advantage?
They're doing a really good job of splitting the farm on the map. Like, Aoi hit level 6 already. They stacked for Lina so that the supports could get some farm. Rubik was taking over mid for a while, so everyone's pretty evenly spread in terms of farm and levels. Although I do think TC's slightly under farm, but that's because he made the smoke rotation. But he's still number 2 on net worth. Lina almost has her Yules. Things are completely falling in a place for Digital Chaos.
I mean, they continue to make stacks in the Root Gaming jungle for themselves, eventually to pull Ekon. Now they're going to rotate towards mid lane. Monkeys is going to make the jump. They anticipate he's going to be going for the 10-minute rune here. Yuar trying to get close. He has his Yules now, but was not in range to get the Yules off.
He doesn't have enough mana for his combo.
But then not enough of the follow-up. Plus his team just maybe a bit too far to be able to sub in their own bit of disable.
Digital Chaos, like, okay, they're just letting us have all these towers? Sure, we'll take them. Look at their vision around mid, too. How is Root going to jump them with this sort of vision?
Not going to be easy. They just continue to go back. If they're not going to get what they want mid lane, they'll go right back into the Root jungle, knowing that Root don't feel comfortable being there. There's only a few spots now that Root Gaming can actually farm up. That means their supports are going to be very
just
starved.
Repelled Waga at his big camp. That's how scared they are.
Oh. And it's not even a big repel either. What is it, level 2? Not going to last that long. Derp's still at 4.
Uh-oh, he's in Agi treads.
Nope, now intel. Even worse. Yuar's there waiting. He's got the invis, and he's going to come to the high ground. Derp's right behind him, though. He's going to get a heal off and save him in time. No, he gets Yulesed up. Nice play from Yuar. He's going to get the finish in time. No! Heal's going to be there, and it's Yuar who goes down. Unfortunately, miscalculated. A very cheeky effort, though. Gets a nice Yules onto Derp to stop the heal, but doesn't have the follow-up burst. Fissure flies out. They're going to get a return kill, taking out the Lion in exchange, though it is a fruitful one for Root Gaming. That's a top net worth player in Yuar, and they will get a nice bonus from it.
Yeah, that was pretty fortunate that Derp was sitting behind him. Very nice Yules by Lina, but just simply not enough damage. Yeah, that's really good for Storm Spirit. Now he's actually number 1 on net worth. I guess he's probably going for a Bloodstone.
Yeah.
Bloodstone's okay. I personally like Orchid just because I don't really think you need the HP that badly, because if you get an Orchid with Repel, you can just kill anyone on the map. The only way that you die during Repel is if...
Moving in for Yaoi. Got a nice stun. Make it look easy. Birds live on, try to poke a jaw a little bit, but now they might be farmed up, and they commit. They get the 1. Monkeys Forever looking to get the 2nd here. Not going to be happening there. A nice quick pick here from Root Gaming. They are clawing their way, Merlini, back into this mid-game tooth and nail.
Yeah, they're finally making some moves. Again, Digital Chaos, they could have just taken the tower in mid, I think, without trying to go for that sort of play. They have way better map control right now. They have, like, better initiation, I think, at this point, with Earthshaker and Lina with Yules. But they're not actually converting it into as much map control as I thought they would. And now we see a HOD pickup by TC, so it looks like DC resorting to the farming game.
Yeah, both of them, really. I mean, you have your Midas on Waga. We've been seeing a very inactive Tusk up to this point so far, so he's been trying to just kind of play catch-up from the early laning phase. Both teams have been making some micro moves around the map to get an occasional pick here and there, but for the most part, it's been all about the farm. Derp moves in very ambitiously into that stack. His rappel runs out, and, well, he's going to be dead. So, immediate quick kill from him. I guess it was a sacrifice just to get that bit of intel and get that ward down if possible, which he does get it down. Blocks out the camp, but if you see an Omni Knight running there by himself, you figure he probably went in there to do something, and so a counter ward could be coming in the near future.
So they started on Roche with the medallion, but then they immediately back off. I don't know whether or not it's because they're scared of the Storm pick, whether they're worried about they might get low and Bloodseeker might see them, but they were clearly pretty hesitant about it. You are?
Yules, LSA, but Derp there again. Ready and waiting, gets a heal, gets a repel. I don't think Yuar's intentions from the get-go was to kind of finish him off unless the opportunity really presented itself, but continues to just poke a little bit. And can't help but feel like this is a playstyle that Yuar maybe not very comfortable with, though. He's typically one to really just fire off and just kind of bring in kills.
He hasn't had that much support from his teammate. Like, if he had anything for that Bloodseeker, like a Fisher, for example.
They have something for Bloodseeker right now. An Echo Slam plus a lift follow-up coming out. A lot of hate on Waga.
Yeah, it's so much easier if their team just goes with them. They don't need a farm. They can just take down mid and then control their jungle and then proceed from there. But
Repel
here they
on
go.
The monkeys. He wants to go in and see if he can get a quick pick onto Owie. Now ties the pull onto TC, and they get the follow-up stun and finger from Ja. Now Ja eats a soul assumption, roll on forward from Jawan, gets the uppercut into Owie. Owie's still going to be good. Lift, pull back, and it's going to be stolen. Laguna to fly out, gets the quick pick on the monkeys forever. Now they go for Jawan, and it's successful. A double kill for Yuar. On the back of that, makes it a 3-for-1 trade. Only costs Digital Chaos their TC Gyro, and they get 3, including Waga's Bloodseeker, and now it's Tier 1 tower.
So Bloodseeker has converted his farm into a Midas, which is pretty scary when you are really scared to farm your own jungle. I think it's really good if you have a lot of map control and the other team's like playing super passively, so you can't get any kills, but that is definitely not the case for this particular game.
So now we're going to go to a bit of a separation here. I expect a bit more passive play going to be coming out from Root Gaming at this point. Now you go back to your baby steps of making sure you got your basic foundation of wards out, which they do. Some of their jungle seems pretty safe, but as I say that, they're going to spot out TC. He gets a rupture, but he can't get around the trees. He's just got to run all the way away. And TC's like, I don't care about this. I'm just going to fly out.
Yeah, he's only level 9, which is pretty low. Gyro's almost 11, Lena is 12 by comparison. Like, level 1 Rupture really doesn't do that much. Level 2 Rupture does, like, double the damage, which is a pretty big deal.
Level 9, I agree. It's a bit low for where we are in the game, but more surprising is just the lack of being able to participate and get anything done. 1-1-0 on a Bloodseeker at this point, something is not going right. And you could say the same thing for Tusk. 0-0, yet to get anything going for himself. This is a team you think would be ready to rumble. But unfortunately, they've been stuck in the very defensive game.
They switched gears at the last second. I don't know if they wanted the Undying, but the Omni Knight pick is just completely different from what their picks suggest.
They catch out Nowie very quick here, just between Schwan and John. They're going to be able to clean it up. Very nicely done. Just a convenient Visage is going to be able to cross their paths. All the meanwhile, TC is going to work on those stacks. A big one for that. Biru is going to be there as a support just in case something does go awry. And Yuar looks like he's going to secure a top Tier 1 tower for himself.
We saw how strong the repel was last fight. Like, Storm just got repelled, jumped on Gyro, killed him, and just got out, and that's it. Like, there was almost no counterplay from DC there, which, again, is pretty reliant on Yuar getting his scepter, but he has that in, like, 2,000 gold. So the window that they can actually make really good use of the repel is getting really, really small. Unless, like, Storm has an Orchid, then he can actually just try and go on the Lena without the Yules, but right now, I don't really think that Repel is going to win them the game at this point. They have to play better. They have to get more kills. They have to do something with the Bloodseeker. Because he's not your...
Here comes trouble. A 3-man smoke, including a Bulba blinking Echo Slam. They're going to spot up the 4. He jumps in the Echo, only going to connect on 1. And Zhuan, who's going to quickly snowball, get the uppercut on Bulba. Looking to turn back. They can't finish off Zhuan yet. He's repelled up. He's able to make it away. Instead, Biru steps in, gets a quick Fade Bolt. Not going to be doing a whole lot here. No one goes down yet. But, it might be quick. Waga trying to TP away. Going to get stopped and killed. The heal is not going to be enough from the Omni Knight. There is going to be the first takedown. Unfortunately, Bulba, I could see the effort right there. It was 4 men together, but he only catches the caboose of the truck on the way out from Root Gaming, and they do come up short on that. But hey, they get Waga, and this is perfect for them to segue into the Roche pit and finally finish it off.
You know, that was actually Root's fight. Like, they could have turned around the game right there, but I don't know what Monkeys is doing, pushing top lane.
They had Guardian Angel in it.
Yeah, if he TP'd at a T2, like, he could have killed Lina, he could have killed Rubik, and I think he could have killed Earthshaker too. Derp's positioning was really good that fight. He didn't get hit by the Echo, but he was still close enough to heal and then repel the Tusk. That's like the best positioning that you're going to get from an Omni Knight.
And getting a positioning Omni Knight is not easy.
Yeah, it is not easy at all.
It's a small AoE to get everyone under the holy light.
Yeah,
it's
so he
terrible.
played amazingly well that fight. Biru stole the Rupture, which is pretty good as well, but where was a Storm? Like they turn around with GA plus a Storm. They win that fight. They prevent the Roche, but instead they get something which isn't that great, which is a gyro kill. If it even is even a gyro kill.
They can get it. He's got not much more mana though. Rupture might help him secure it, and Indiana Jones Snowball flying on through is going to get it finished off right there. And it's got to be apparent by now that, you know, to Digital Chaos, there is a Root Gaming ward in their own jungle. It's not really safe to kind of be in there as it was before to kind of build up your own farm. So TC learns a hard lesson that way. It does cost Root quite a bit. A couple of ultimates, a long jump from Monkeys. Now they kind of have to step back and recoup and rejuvenate here, as Monkeys still has a pretty low mana pool. We'll have to see if Digital Chaos look to kind of capitalize.
Oh, going with the Bloodstone build. No Scepter.
On Yawar.
It's pretty surprising. I mean, it's good if you don't want, if you're like pretty far ahead and you don't want to feed them kills, because they don't really have a way to, I guess, disable him from 100 to full without him counterplaying, especially with like a Shaker in the game. But it means that they still further really don't have a great solution to the repel. But again, it's not that big of a deal if Monkeys doesn't come to the fight, because they don't have any damage. You need a target to repel. Bloodseeker is too weak at this point. He has Treads, Midas, which is a bunch of attack speed, but no damage really. Like, you aren't scared of this Bloodseeker at all if you're Digital Chaos. You're just like, okay, well, we'll just Laguna him, and if Storm comes in, then we'll just use him. But again, you have to repel the Storm, and he's getting repelled right now, but he's just farming up.
Yeah, two of their goons are smoked up heading towards the north here. It looks like they're just going to take this opportunity. This might be just to get wards down. Maybe they can get a quick solo pick on a jungle farming TC or something. But
that's who they really want.
Good aggro wards.
They want TC. TC is actually pretty underfarmed too. He doesn't have that much HP because he went Yasha plus HOD, which is
my goodness!
no
Look
HP.
at this girthy stack he's got though, Merlini. He's got lots of gold.
I don't think that Root knows that he has that big of a stack because they had it Sentry.
Oh, Biru TP's back, but they were waiting for it, and he just dies instantly. Now the cavalry is coming in here. But I don't know if they're going to be able to make that quick kind of jump right there, especially not on the Monkeys Forever. So it's just a
GG
quick
Glimmer Cape.
And yeah, Glimmer onto Chuan, but Bulba gets a blocks in front of him, and it's enough to pincer him in. He's going to try to TP, but it's not going to be happening. Excellent play there from Bulba. Gets the catch up on the Tusk, and they do manage to make it a 1-for-1 trade.
Still,
it's spicy here.
Yeah, they almost lose tower in mid, which is pretty bad if you're trying to protect that stack. But as of right now, Digital Chaos still have the T1 and the T1 in mid, T1 on bottom, which is really good for the Gyro, who's still a little bit weak, as well as continually getting the Roshan. If Root got Roshan with Storm, that's a big problem. But at this point, they're like in really no point to contest or, you know, even go around that area that much. So you're still pretty comfortable if you're Digital Chaos.
Yeah, I assume that they are just waiting, maybe getting an item together. Boots of Travel now picked up. Yawar is a fiend with this farm right now. 21 minutes in. 9 charge Bloodstone, Yules, Boots of Travel. Heading towards the top lane, still has the Aegis here, so at some point his team is probably going to be rallying it up. But again, Yawar, the Lone Ranger here, trying to turn the long corner and see if maybe he can catch out Monkeys Forever. But Monkeys decides to head up.
They have a ward.
Yeah, Pincer's coming, but they do have the heads-up vision right there in the middle.
The Bloodstone build is also really good for continued farming. Scepter is just a bunch of stats, but if you're out constantly trying to kill people as well as farm neutral stacks and push lanes, you need the mana to do so, and Yule simply is not enough. You BOTs to the bottom lane. Let's see if you can get a pick.
They might get Owie. There you go. Blink in. They got the stun, they got the ball, they got the uppercut, but this bird simply won't go down quite yet. They're going to have to use the finger, but Yawar's here with a finger of his own. Laguna's down the lion, and Schwann's going to be forced to quickly Glimmer Cape the hell out of here. He's going to try to run away, putting up the sigil in hopes to slow them down, but oh god, I'm just going to desperately TP. Please don't see me. Oh, they found me. It's going to be a quick echo, quick stun. And the Tusk will go down. It ends up being a 2-for-1 trade. They finally finish up Owie, but it took a whole lot of sweat to bring him down.
That was a great TP by Yawar. I think he anticipated them being down there before the fight actually started, which is really good. If he weren't there, I think they would have just gotten the kill and gotten out, especially with Bloodseeker on the back lines. But let's see. SNY, so he's kind of getting there.
You definitely need all the life you can get when you got a level 3 Laguna now online.
Yeah, this Lina is just out of control, though. Definitely a worthy first pick if you can play it like this. She's really done it all. She's like controlled Storm. She tries to control the supports. Aside from that one hiccup when she went on the Bloodseeker and then Omni Knight was there, like she's been doing a good job of threatening the enemy team, farming whatever they're trying to farm, and just always making them feel scared. Like Bloodseeker's not as farm as he is because of the constant threat of Lina with the Yules.
Do you think Lina will get a visit from the nerf bat in the big patch to come?
I think the 4 things that I think are going to get nerfed, like with almost certainty, is Lina, Lesh, Glimmer, and Solar. I think
Lina, Lesh, Glimmer, and you said Soul Ring?
Solar Crest.
Oh, Solar Crest.
Yeah, those are my 4.
All right, I can all that. Well deserved and justified, fair enough.
But
you didn't say Storm Spirit.
I didn't say Storm Spirit. I'm not that big on the nerf Storm Spirit train, nor am I that big on nerf Bloodseeker or Bloodstone. Like all these, I think are like
It's because you're in close ties with Blitz. I know why. Really.
it's like they're strong, but like the heroes make the items look really strong. Like Leshrac with Bloodstone, like I mean Leshrac is just super overpowered right now.
Oh yeah.
So it's I don't know. I think with those heroes nerfed, it's not going to be as big of a deal.
We'll see if that's the case, but Yawar, is showing a good case for why Lina is just a bit too good with how she is right now. Sporting now 1k gold is now going to be going for the Agnus build-up here. Malini has the point booster already, plus 1 component if he wants to pick it up, and he's now just kind of recklessly going right through the Root Gaming jungle and taking that bit of farm for himself. Because Root Gaming, well, they're kind of clumped up. They got that buddy-buddy system employed now, and they kind of have to move it about. Derp, thankful just to kind of throw together some arcane boots, but we already talked about his positioning. It's going to be very crucial in these fights to come, and if he does not have the wherewithal or the HP pool to withstand the onslaught that comes from Digital Chaos, there will be no Guardian Angel in any fight. But
Bloodseeker's items are coming in a little bit too slowly. He has Blade Mail now, but at this point, like Lina can just full combo the Bloodseeker and not really care that much because she has Bloodstone and she'll have like 2,000 HP by the time she gets her Scepter.
Yeah,
and that's a really big threat. Like when you die and you're not worried about the other people, like getting killed and you leeching up with the Bloodbath. And
do you think it's bad enough that if somehow Yawar gets the catch on, let's say Waga with the Yules, you just put out the Guardian Angel and just hope to God you can keep him alive?
I don't know if he survives that. Even with the you have to heal and then repel. I think that's the only way you. It is, but like anything can ruin it. Like a Visage stun on the Omni Knight
cape would be pretty nice after the Yules.
Yes.
That doesn't help with the pure damage a whole lot, I suppose. But
I mean, needless to say, it's going to be very difficult for Root to straight win team fights. I think they have to rely on you rather repel the storm and jump on someone first. You want the Lina to blow her Yules defensively, and then her to like get caught in a bloodbath, for example, or blood right rather. That's your ideal way, I think, of starting off a fight, and then hope Omni Knight gets all the spells off. But that's again really difficult with like a Blink Shaker. He's actually smoked up right now, perhaps looking for a kill on monkeys with the help of their birds. Nope.
No. They move forward. They played a pretty aggressive ward. I think the game plan here for Digital Chaos is we will wait out for the next Roche, which will be up in about 1 minute's time. And then with that, we'll be able to have enough to kind of move forward and see if we can close this game out. For Root Gaming, they're just going to have to frantically kind of farm as much as possible. These deep wards that Digital Chaos have been planting will give them the idea if Root Gaming are looking to contest whatsoever. But I feel like they're just going to continue to play it slow. Very uncharacteristic for a lot of the usual NA Dota we've come to know. Merlini, this game not as frantic and crazy and just kind of balls to the wall. This one seems pretty methodical. And with that, it is Digital Chaos who are kind of the bullies in this game. It's just Root not looking to hand over a whole lot here. Even Chuan right now using the back end of his Shadow Blade he recently picked up.
They actually need a gem on Digital Chaos. Like once they get the gem, Glimmer Cape won't be as big of a problem. They can de-ward all the offensive wards, so Tusk and Storm can't make plays, and they can also do Roche pretty safely. So I think that should be the next step for Digital Chaos. Get the gem, get Ags, get Roche, and then continue from there. As long as they prevent Storm from getting Aegis, this game is very good position for Digital Chaos.
Yeah, it could be the the game-ending Roche here. If Digital Case get what they want, Root Gaming would need to make one hell of a fight happen, perhaps a Grand Theft Aegis or something to kind of get themselves back into this. They continue to farm up here. You look at Monkeys Forever, who could be one of the lone hopes for them. He's got a ultimate orb on hand, looking to build up into a sheepstick, I'd imagine here. But look at this, top lane. Schwan has eyes on Yawar, is picking it out, gets a quick catch right there with a Shadow Blade uppercut. Monkeys looking to follow up, gets the pull back, snowball forward. It might be enough to bring him down, and even a finger coming out from Jaw to certainly help. And that's going to be a quick pick onto Yawar. He does have that Bloodstone. We'll be back. Oh, he did get the suicide off.
He did?
Wow, did he?
No, he didn't. No, he didn't get the
I think the
suicide.
finger helps secure that just to make sure he does not get it off. So he's done.
I think that's part of the reason why you get Bloodstone is to prevent big kills like that. That's a mega kill streak as well as a level 18 Lina. 18. She was probably twice Lion's level when they got that kill.
Lion's now 11 and suddenly rich. He's got a Shadow Amulet already in his stash. He's going to be the one to now take over the Glimmer Cape because it looked like Tusk did tear apart his Glimmer Cape to make his Shadow Blade now, which did help him a bit in that pick off with Yawar, but this is just kind of delaying the game plan a bit here for Digital Chaos. They're starting to migrate a bit towards the right-hand side here, closer to this Roche pit. It doesn't look like Gowie's going to be able to finish off an Agnums quite yet, unless this is it on route here. Well, there certainly is. There is plenty of Ags components all over the place. In mid lane, though, we're going to get a jump from Monkeys going right for B-Root here. Gets the pullback, and now he will get lifted. And the Soul Assumption. Monkeys is going to go down very fast. 28 seconds out. Derp, a quick follow-up there from TC. The huge rocket barrage. It's Bulba getting the finishing connection onto Monkeys Forever.
Where was the repel? Why did he go in without repel?
He went way deep. I figured he had it in the lead and it might have expired, but you're right. It's a level 4 repel. It should have been there and it was not.
That's game losing stuff right there. You lose all your Bloodstone charge, you lose a tower, you lose Roche. That's that would have been so good with repel. Like again, they have no solution for repel at this. Actually, Lina has her scepter.
Maybe a lack of communication or something. Monkeys to be like, hey, I'm going in. Give me that jacket right now.
You can't expect the Omni Knight to follow you in like that. Like that's.
Oh no.
Like he doesn't have a blink dagger. He doesn't have a scepter. That's what you need in order to cover him. But Storm could get a BKB, but you don't think you need a BKB when you have.
We're gonna try for a smoke.
Oh, maybe he's getting a Lincoln's. I don't know if he's getting a Lincoln's because if he gets a Lincoln's, then that covers the Laguna.
Oh, you're right. You're right. Now they smoke. It's not under the ward, so they don't know they're coming. But it's too late. Obviously, the Roche will go down. Digital Chaos picked that one up, and it is going to be Yawar once again who will hold the Aegis here. Very commanding position for them after that good couple of picks and a tier 1 in a Roche. Oh, look at this flank play, though. Root, it's their time to try to get something done. They think they're going right for the side shop. It's not there. There's a little creep. I don't know if it saw the shards. I think it did.
Yep.
And they're like, let's not go over there. And so Digital Chaos, they're going to head up north into their own jungle into a safe place. And Root Gaming are going to be falling short on trying to make an opportunity happen.
So when I'm looking at DC, I'm trying to see how they play as a team. How are their supports going to play? Is it going to be like Aoi and PPD? Are they going to split a farm a little bit more? Like what exactly is their support dynamic going to be? And it looks like it's still going to be Aoi getting significantly more farm than their 5 position. But at the same time, with a hero like Rubik, you actually want Rubik to have a lot of farm. You want him to make big plays. You want him to like blink, you know, initiate on Storm Spirit, steal something from someone, and steal repel if you possibly can. Like these are important things to do in a team fight as a Rubik, but with his item build there's like not that much you can do. There's no blink, there's no force up. He'll have a glimmer pretty soon, but it's 31 minutes in, so I think it's actually better for them in this game for Visage to be super farm.
Yeah,
that doesn't mean that having a farm Rubik doesn't have his upsides.
Visage just has such a nice ceiling as a support on what he can contribute to the game. I can't really fault a team for having to just kind of make that sacrifice.
Oh no, it's really good.
Solar Crest to come.
Solar Crest is also a really good solution to the Repel Storm.
Oh,
like that is like you can actually focus him down with the birds if you think he's going to stay, or you can just simply use it to buff up whoever he's jumping.
Biru under that Invis room, getting a lot of intel. They were trying to swarm and get a hold of Schwan, but he is able to make it away from trouble with that Shadow Blade.
They need a gem.
Just in the nick of time. And yeah, they still need that pesky gem. Shadow Blade and possibly a Glimmer Cape coming up. And
nice courier kill by Monkeys.
Monkeys gets the courier catch. TP'd all the way back for that one. Let's see where it ended up going down.
He
right mid lane.
He TP'd out here. So yeah.
Yeah, got it right from the mid lane there. Well, it's a good snag, a little bit of gold. Certainly need at least 7 more courier kills, though, if they want to kind of put themselves close to on par with where Digital Chaos are. But at this point in the game, it's all about execution here, and we might have to resort to kind of breaking down, Merlini, the high ground potential of Root Gaming. Do they have a strong high ground defense, really? I mean, you can set up a pretty good blood right at that choke point.
It's always hard to push high ground against a Storm.
And it's easier for Omni Knight being a good spot to make a Guardian Angel happen, too.
But like the Storm zip from the fountain, or like even close to the base and then TPing back and then zipping again, is really difficult to deal with. And on top of that, he has Bloodstone, although he did die that one time, so he doesn't have as many Bloodstone charges. Generally, that's what you're really scared of, is like feeding a Storm who has 3 lives in the base. But going for it.
There's the first blood right. Monkey's not back in the base yet. He wants to make that first fountain jump. Instead, he's coming in from the north. Goes right for TC. This time he does have the repel, so Fissure is not going to be effective here. Finger to fly, but TC's going to be fine. Turns it back with his BKB. There's going to be a call down. Waga has his blade mill, but it's not going to be enough. Quick Yules to fly on Yawar after pitching out the Laguna, and now they're looking to go for Jaw. Jaw's going to get dropped. Monkeys is back. Jumping in. Gets TC. Will take him down, but they lose 3. A buyback even coming out from Waga. Owie, in the meanwhile, holding his own, dishing out huge damage with the birds. Root Gaming just trying their best to hold on in what could be their final defense of this game. It's enough to scurry back Digital Chaos. For now, could be a reposition here, but they still have lost just TC, and it looks like it's going to be enough for them to head back and out and away. So what did they really get done there? It forced out 1 buyback at least from Waga.
That was so sloppy by Digital Chaos. TC went out way too far. He doesn't have the Aegis. If he had Aegis, sure, you can make that play. But you want Lina in front of Siege. If anyone's too close, you just pop them with Dragon Slave Laguna. And if she gets jumped, whatever, she has Aegis. You just solo crest her, turn on your BKBs, and look for a good jump by Earthshaker. But the way the fight went was really poorly executed. I was actually saved by both sides. TC was up in front. He should have died to the Finger. The Finger came out way too late. He BKB'd even though he was stun locked for like 5 seconds. So they had ample opportunity to kill him. And on top of that, Storm wasn't there for the defense. Like their tower was already at half HP before they even thought about making a jump. He was like probably in mid, close to the river, when they siege up his hill, and it's like, oh crap, they're here. And then he goes in. Like he could have also TP'd back and saved, half his tower, but they were already like well fortified in a position. Granted, it was a poorly fortified position because it was Gyro in front, not Lina, but they were still fortified before Root even mounted a defense.
Now, is that enough to discourage Digital Chaos to now have to wait a bit before they try to make another attempt at that?
It's not even really discouraging. They're just like, okay, well, instead of pushing with Aegis, we can push with Aegis on Gyro and then Cheese on Lina. If the Aegis expires or Gyro dies, we just pass them to Cheese.
Yeah, it just expired now, so...
Yeah, and Lina will have, Lina will have Bloodstone plus BOTs if she wants to rejoin the fight, so it's not that big of a deal if she doesn't have Aegis. So
plus TC Actor will have his next item. He is quickly farming up a huge stack, puts him over to the 3,300 gold mark. What is the next prize grab here for your Gyrocopter at this point? It's going to be a Butterfly.
Some sort of survivability item. You don't need a damage, but Butterfly or Satanic or Scotty, I think, are your main 3 choices here. Because you just want to be able to survive like a Rupture plus Storm Jump or like a Lion Hex. You're going to get Glimmered and Solared, but you still need items.
Yep. And I do not foresee an MKB coming up anytime soon here onto Waga's Bloodseeker.
Why do they have a
Storm.
Lincolns on Lina? Huh. This is the Lincolns for... Oh, the Hex. Hex on Storm. Okay. That makes more sense. I was like... It's nice, but like Lion can just mana drain it if he really wants to. It's pretty short cast time. Storm doesn't even necessarily have to initiate on you if he like doesn't have a hex, but if he has a hex, I think it's a pretty
Omni can repel him off the Lincolns. Does that even work?
I'm not sure. I would expect so.
Yeah.
And they're dumping on TC.
It would have to be a desperate Lincoln spot.
So now TC will have Lincolns plus he'll have the Glimmer and Solar. Ideally, he'd have an Aegis too and or Butterfly, but unfortunately, they're fighting a little bit early.
Monkeys makes his jump. Does not use a TP for that one. Just does the simple jump in, jump out with the help of a repel.
See, this is what they need. This is what they should have done last time. Is siege with Lina and keep Gyro in the back.
Yeah, the Lina plus the birds.
Yeah, she has 2,500 HP. Like that is a ton for Lina.
She'll continue, and plus that ridiculous long range will make it easy. Oh, Mana Drain was on Lina. He might have meant for the TC pop of the Lincolns, but it's not going to be there. This tier 3 should be going down. It's denied, actually, from Jaw. The birds don't turn and actually attack it. They go with the creeps instead. So, tier 3 down. Rax is exposed here. Digital Chaos still flirting on the welcome mat of this bottom lane. Birds now going in. Damn birds. Going to start pecking at this Rax. There's going to be a jump from Monkeys trying to go for Yawar here. Gonna get blocked up from the shard. Sidesteps, goes for TC now instead. There is going to be the pullback steal. It's going to be onto the blood right. And now a jump in echo from Bulba. Kex is onto the 2. Roll forward. Does come out from Schwan, but it's not going to be enough. Monkey still alive, able to make it back in away, but not the same for Schwan. He will go down. TC charging on in is going to be able to clear out 1 Rax. And look at Owie and the Birds go to work, plus Yawar. They're not able to take anyone out from Digital Chaos, and they are going to be losing their bottom set of Rax. It does cost them Waga. Monkeys has to go back to base. They lose Schwan, and it's not looking good right now for Root.
I really like how quickly Digital Chaos adapted. Like, notice last fight they identified what went wrong, they immediately changed it, and even without the Aegis, they can still make the push.
Roll in, uppercut and War, but he is just too big and too bad to be stopped that easy. And quickly, Monkeys Forever is just trying to go right to the heart, gets the quick support kill onto Biru. Ja, though, could be in the trouble exchange. The Birds and the long range from Yawar going to be able to finish him off. Schwan's going to have to go up to the north to make himself out and away. Digital Chaos said, let's not get too excited here. We got an extra couple of picks. Let's just get the hell back, recover, recuperate, and then finish this game out.
Yeah, to me, that's one of the biggest signs of a strength of a team is being able to adapt in a game, and that was. They shouldn't have made that mistake in the first place, but they did make the mistake. You can't get over that. And then immediately after, 1 minute later, execute the exact same push with slightly different positioning, and they take a quick Rax. So that's really, really good by Digital Chaos. I think a lot of teams, they would have gone for the safer route, which is wait for Roche, wait for Aegis and Cheese, and then make the same push with the switch positioning. But they did it without. They had the confidence to do so,
yeah.
And they know that they could have done it. So that's.
Oh, bottom lane. Monkey's actually making a jump here for Yawar, who is cut out on his own. They're going to be forced to pop the Lincolns here, but sure enough, they will be able to bring him down. Gets popped. There's going to be no suicide. 8 charges now for him. He'll be out for 40 seconds on the sidelines here. Still pretty long considering the Bloodstone just for how freaking high level he is. Lena at level 23, remind you.
Yawar reminds me a lot of Sumail. It's like, what are you doing there, buddy? he dies a lot, but he also gets a lot of kills.
Yeah,
so
it's very, very aggressive.
But Sumail learned to tone that down pretty quickly. Like, he still gets a lot of kills, but he doesn't die nearly as often. And I think if Yawar can do that, he'll be, just as strong as his, his brother.
A lot of the similar strong traits. I mean, you put him in his mid lane and he just performs. He got that quick kill onto Derp Derp. Certainly held his own against the Storm Spirit of Monkeys Forever.
Yeah,
as we expected on paper, but
keep in mind there's like a lot of long range spells to punish him, like Snowball, Storm Jump, like Ruptured. Like these can all punish Alina pretty hard. So it's understandable that he's dying a lot, but like his other aspects of his game are pretty good. Like his laning's pretty good, his rune control is pretty good, his movement around the map, keeping up his farm. But I think if he tones down to dying just a little bit, he will become like a very, very, very strong mid instead of just a pretty strong mid.
Game plan now for Digital Chaos seems to be, let's wait out for that big old Roche to show himself again. We'll take his mighty token and we'll head right back to Root Gaming side and try to put a lid on it. And for Root, that's where the it's a bit of a tougher question here, Merlini. What do you got to do this time to try to hold off Digital Chaos from taking that next set of racks and potentially the game?
Honestly, there's not really that much they can do. Like, what's the perfect situation for them? There's like almost none. Whoever Storm Spirit jumps on will get solored and glimmered, or BKB, and on top of that, they're probably going to have the Aegis and the Cheese. If you go into supports, like, your teammate's just going to get echoed, or he's just going to get Laguna to the face. So there's almost no, like, really good play from Root that they can manage right now. If Digital Chaos, like, splits up, or they let Roshan get jacked, that is probably what you're looking for. So you're more looking for weaknesses in DC's, like, gameplay rather than their high ground push.
Oh my, so Digital Chaos not deciding to go for the Roche. They smoke instead near the Roche pit. They head straight up north and looking to catch out Root Gaming here, trying to split push here. And, ooh, quick blink away from Jaw is going to avoid the LSA from Yawar. So they're going to go for the tower. They get their tower and going to pull back. Does delay a little bit of time from Digital Chaos, kind of moving forward with what was their, I imagine, standard game plan here. Owie now spouts out the Roche. We'll ping it, but look at this. There's fisticuffs in the woods. Oh, a force forward through the stun. Looks crazy as hell, but Yawar is able to make it to safety. Even gets the glimmer help from Bulba. Jaw got his own glimmer. Oh my god, please don't find me. He's going to make the run, the blink, and he is in a safe spot. Oh no, he's not. Oh no, he is not. Bulba going to catch him with a fissure, and Jaw is like, god damn it. I'm going to go in their home. Where am I going? Ah! That was hard to watch right there. Children, avert your eyes. You are just murdered. Jaw right there with that Laguna.
Maybe trying to stall the Roche, but they're already taking in as two. TC and an AUI. Roche is dead. Aegis in the hands of... Okay, I was about to say, they should definitely give it to Jaw. But he picked up the cheese first.
Well, so now TC should be able to be that one they dangle out in front for sieging the next tier 3 tower.
Oh god, they have a defusal in this. Yeah, there's really no counterplay that Root can do in a straight 5-on-5. They have to look for an opportunity before the high ground push. High ground push, I think, is just going to be GG. So, like, they have to go for like a smoke or something right now. But even like right now, DC is almost grouped at S5. That's like the only way they can lose if they aren't S5.
I hope they. I wonder if Root Gaming saw the defusal yet. It would be unfortunate if they jump in with a repel and then get welcomed with a quick defusal and then a quick stun.
Yeah, I think it's going to be something like that happening.
He's forever. I hope he's quick on the draw to get the hell back out if he plans on making a jump in right now.
Oh, look at Tusk. He's making a play.
He's looking to come in from behind. We see it.
He wants to find Shaker. Shaker's the best target for him, but Shaker has Lotus Orb.
They are so spread. He has Lotus Orb, and okay, Monkey spots up Biru. Might be able to get him out right here. Has the repel, but it's not going to get diffused off. He's able to make it back and away from trouble, and they will lose their Rubik. So they're going to be down 1. Schwan looking to move in, tries to get that Earthshaker, but there's a Glimmer Cape, and now he's going to get caught out with a Fissure. The Yules is going to be there as a follow-up, and they are going to get the kill. So it's a 1-for-1 trade, but that's 80 seconds of no Tusk, who I think could be a lot more viable in this defense than even what the Rubik would be able to offer for Digital Chaos. So they don't divert. They're going to continue to charge on forward here. This tier 3 is in trouble. My oh my, what are they going to do? Monkeys jumps in here, loses, gets defusal off the repel, but they're not stopping him. They're still able to get the kill. That's going to be TC's Aegis to go down, and Monkeys is able to get a new repel as he bops back and away. But that's just an Aegis after all, Merlini, and they are not done yet. They move right on in. Last second Glyph will save this tier 3, but Digital Chaos will continue their juking and jiving back inside the base, and now to just finish off the slow siege. Another deny coming up. Root Gaming, though, will eliminate the tier 3, and there goes Monkeys Forever jumping in, trying to get the pullback on a TC, who will pop the BKB. Also gets from the Lotus. Jaw getting caught on the side will go down. There's an Echo Slam to bop down Monkeys Forever, who does have a buyback. We'll probably have to use it here, and Dirt's going to go down. A jump in from Monkeys Forever, and he's not going to be able to finish anyone off. It looks like he will now be caught out as well into the LSA. He will be bopped in the head with a Soul Assumption, and that will be game. Digital Chaos will take game number 1 against Root in this best of 3.
Pretty good showing from both teams. I don't like the Scythe pickup because it's that plus Alliance countered with one item, which is the Lotus Orb. So I think if you had a Linken's, then he's pretty much impervious to Lina as well as the Diffusal, which is a very common combo. But overall, I think Digital Chaos played pretty well. Not a standout game from Biru, I would say. Like he got caught at the end. It's pretty difficult against a Storm with the Shivas, but looks like he might be the sacrificial 5 that Aoi has been banking on. I
also suspect probably a bit different as far as the early draft. Now seeing a Lina performance like that from Yuar, I imagine they have to consider either picking up for themselves or banning it out. I can't actually remember. I was getting everything set up who had the first pick that game.